Hello. Good evening. I am one lucky gal this evening to be hanging out with these two guys. For anybody that doesn't know, they are the Wraith Chasers. I will get to the comments and saying hi from everybody, but I do want to say if there's any questions, because I do realize that this is going to be, a lot of people here. I'm going to try to keep those maybe to like the last 15 minutes, unless I can fit it into the conversation. I will pop them up for the guys. But I do want them, I really want to like listen to them and talk and this and that. But if I can get to the questions, I definitely will while we're on the show, but it will be the last 15 minutes I'll designate for questions. So if you have a question, put like a Q in front of it and I'll star it. And at the end, I'll go to that and I can get the questions out to them. Good evening, guys.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for coming on. I'm like really excited about it. I've been looking forward to it for sure for a really long time. So for anybody that does not know, I don't know who wants to start first, but maybe just how you got into this, where, the basic stuff, when you started, how you got into it, and then how you guys came together. And I definitely want to talk about a lot of stuff that you guys have done and what is coming up. I know you guys have a lot of stuff you guys are working on. So let's talk. Tell me.
All right. Well, I guess I'll start. I'll take one for the team. Probably back in, when I was a kid, I was afraid of everything. I was afraid of the movie Gremlins. Like, I didn't want to watch horror movies. My parents didn't let me watch horror movies. I never would have thought I would have been in this field. But fast forward to probably my late 20s, I guess it was, I had an experience. I saw something that I couldn't explain. It really kind of changed my perception and like kind of what I believed was real and not real, and things that were kind of beyond what I knew was real. And so I signed up for Ghost Hunters Academy, and that was back in 2008. And they selected me as an alternate, which means I'm second best. So they were only gonna put me on the show if somebody else was kicked off or if something traumatic happened. Well, it did on episode 5. I didn't even watch the show. I was just happy to be on it. So they gave me the call from California. They're like, "Hey, we want you to be on the show." I was like, "Hell yeah, let's do it." And had a lot of fun during that production. I learned a lot, and I learned that I really loved the whole production process. And I came back to Tennessee after it was over, and it was an amazing experience. Got to meet Steve and Tango, who back then and still today are still some of my idols and now good friends. And they were like, "Hey, you need to go home and join a team." So I went back to Tennessee, and I was looking around, and I just didn't see a fit anywhere. Like, I looked at a lot of teams, and so I just kind of decided to start my own with a couple of buddies from work, and it kind of grew from there. And we got recognized by a production company out of Minnesota called Tremendous Entertainment. And here we are, like 10, 15 years later, doing it, still doing it.
So when you say recognize, like, how does that happen?
We were putting a lot of videos on YouTube. I was also in graphic design and marketing for about 15 years before I did this. So I really tried to brand us a lot differently than everybody else was doing. Like, I tried not to use the word paranormal or ghost, which is where Wraith came from, because I really wanted people to look at it and say, okay, what's this about? I don't know what a Wraith is. So I want to try and figure that out instead of like, oh, that's just another one of those paranormal teams. That's more ghost stuff. So, I kind of used that to my benefit to try to get people to be more curious about it. And, I kind of made us look a little bit like Chippendale dancers Black t-shirts and like the Photoshop and the airbrush and so it worked. We got noticed and people started, looking at us on YouTube and they're like, hey, these guys are kind of funny. They're rednecks. They're from Tennessee. They hunt ghosts. So I think that's what the production company, when they looked at us, they're like, hey, let's get some redneck ghost hunters. We haven't seen that yet.
I love it. And now, Mike, was Mike a part of this, when you got this team together, Mike, no? Okay. So
no, I was not. I wasn't a Chippendale. I came. Can you hear me? Because you guys are freezing up.
No, I can hear you.
Can you?
Yeah, we can.
Or am I freezing up on you?
You're freezing up.
I can hear you.
You can? Okay, because you guys are frozen now to me.
We are? Maybe I'm.
Yeah.
No, he's frozen. Now he's frozen.
I think we're all frozen.
Oh, no, I'm frozen?
There you go. Now you're not. You're good.
We should just all be frozen and let it go.
Okay.
Let it.
I'm good? Okay.
Just got that.
Wave if I'm talking and I freeze up.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. No, I came after the fact in 2015 working production on Ghost Asylum, and that's how I got my start. I never watched.
Oh no!
Poor Mike.
Oh man.
Fine, you know what I mean? Like
no, everything was cool. We were talking for a while before this happened, so I don't know. Yeah. Something must have fell on a cable or something. Oh.
I don't know what's going on. I got full interweb services.
Wow. Now you're good. It doesn't look like you're. Yeah. Oh, maybe not.
Okay.
Technology.
We can hear you, but you're frozen.
No, I don't know. I mean, I got full service at home, so I don't know what's up. Am I frozen again?
No, you're good. Continue.
Yeah. I mean, even if you're frozen and we can still hear you, I'm not going to stop.
I can hear you guys. I hear Chris laugh, but you guys are both frozen to me.
Oh, I hope it's not a bad frozen picture.
Let me do. If you can hear me, I'm going to disconnect and then connect again. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
If you can hear me, I'm going to. If you can hear me, I'm going to exit out and come back. See if that helps.
Sounds good.
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah.
Poor young Michael. He's lost in the interweb.
Listen, it's never a dull moment when it comes to this.
Hey, maybe it's paranormal. I got ghosts here at the house. Maybe they're affecting the ghosts in the machine.
Maybe. Well, what was that?
That wasn't a ghost. That was my cell phone.
While we're waiting, Mark says, I helped with one of their events like 5 years ago at the Exchange Hotel, and we did a cool session in the old depot before it was renovated. Mark Higgins.
Yeah, no, we love the Exchange. We were just there last weekend. That's probably, besides the Thomas House Hotel in Red Bowling Springs, I would say the Exchange is probably one of the most visited places that we go to. So, yeah, well, and the depot is amazing. They got some really cool activity out there just last weekend.
All right. Mike, can you hear us?
Oh, no.
Can you hear us, Mike? I'm yelling.
I can hear you. No, I can hear you. You're frozen, but I can hear you. I can hear you, yeah.
A bit of a delay.
All right. So I'm going to shut up.
I can hear you.
Okay, good. So you go ahead and talk about how you found Chris, I guess, or Chris found you, or how you guys got together.
No, there was a couple of the other guys. It was a couple of the other guys I met at the gym, and it just started from there. A new season of Ghost Asylum was starting, and I was like, "Can you get me a gig?" Because I was used to living on the road in the music business for like 15 years prior, and so they said, "Yeah, it's nothing glamorous, but we can get you a production gig." And so that started. Exorcism Live in 2015 was my first, and then the season of Ghost Asylum after that, and that led into Haunted Towns and Haunted Live from there. But same thing as Chris. It's like at the time I thought maybe I just kind of shipped into TV production. I love the creation of it, all the work that goes into one small scene and all that. I was interested in that. I never watched paranormal TV. I didn't know what it was about. And at that time I thought it was cool, but I didn't really care that much, if that makes sense, you know, but getting more and more involved, it was like, no, this is pretty badass. And just started doing more stuff outside of the show, some public stuff, a couple residential things, and it just started leading more and more down the path over the years going. And then now it's doing this full time. So now it's 10 years ago in 2014. If you would have said, hey, you know, in 2 years or 10 years from now, this is what you're going to be doing, I would have thought you were crazy, you know, because at that time, 10 years ago, I'm playing music and traveling, you know, different countries and all over this country playing. And it's like, I would have never thought chasing ghosts would have been, you know, anything I thought I'd do.
Well, so were you into
You're
the
both
paranormal
frozen
prior?
as shit.
I got to make sure I'm sitting pretty for these frozen shots because sometimes they can catch some really bad frozen.
Well, that story went nowhere, right?
Oh, we heard it.
No, we heard it. No, I heard it. But I was going to ask you, like, prior to that, like, were you into the paranormal? Was it something you were interested in always? Or I know you said you know, looking back into now, you never thought you were doing.
No, not always. Not always, because I thought it was cool. I always believed in ghosts. I believe in cryptids. And what's going on? I'm frozen.
No, you're not.
No.
This
is.
Am I?
This is quite.
Well, Chris is saying, okay.
So go ahead.
On with the story.
Oh my God, he's not there anymore.
Damn.
Mike is ghosting us.
I don't know what's going on. Like you aren't frozen at all.
No.
And he was like freezing up a little bit, but
just a little bit, but he was still, I could still hear him.
This is the kind of stuff we go through when we film. Like constantly. Everything works like clockwork. It's perfect. And then once you come down to it, that's when all the gremlins come out and they start chewing on the wires. Yeah,
what the heck? It's okay. He'll come back in. So all right. So were you kind of like, so did you bring Mike in?
Well, it was funny because Mike and I became really good friends at Scarefest. The first time I ever met Mike was at Scarefest. I think that was back in like 2016. He just came to kind of help us sell some merch. And, we just kind of hit it off, and we were kind of like, I hate to use their show name, but kindred spirits, if you will. And then, we kind of, he was working on the show behind the cameras, doing a lot of production stuff. And he decided that he really wanted to give it a go. I mean, can you hear us now? Can you tell this story?
Well, I just came on. I'm doing it from my phone now, just to see if this changes. You're very, very tiny now. So I gotta.
But at least we're not frozen, and for right now, knock on wood.
I was telling her about Scarefest when kind of our first time hanging out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was a good time for her. No, that was. Oh, my door's opening. I didn't know.
Now you got the ghost. That's what happened. See, my ghost went through the speakers, came out of your laptop. It's messing with all your gear, and now it's haunting you. You're welcome.
Greg O'Brien, he runs Fort Mifflin. He's saying that you got pulled into a portal.
I pulled into this.
Oh, hi, baby.
Nah, he's not supposed to be in here right now, but finally got this.
I want to give a shout out to Jing. She's in Indonesia, and she's checking in. So you guys are being watched in Indonesia right now.
Hey, what's up, Indonesia?
So you weren't into the paranormal before this, or you were?
No, I wasn't. I mean, it was nothing that I now come on. This is not a party in here. Let's go. Hang on. This is where off the rails. No, no, I believed in it. I've always believed in anything other than just us, cryptids, UFOs, ghosts, all that kind of stuff. I always believed in it, just never sought it out. Never thought of like ghost hunt, investigation. None of that stuff was even on my radar. I never knew what it was. The very first time I watched a piece of any paranormal show was working on Ghost Asylum and being in a hotel and going, let me watch this and see. And I watched a part of a few episodes. I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. This is what's going on. This is what they're doing. And then when you work in production, and I'm sure other shows are the same way, you're in a lot of places in these locations. You're in a lot of times you're by yourself, whether you're running electrical or doing something, setting up for a scene. You're in the basement of this place and that, and it's scary. And then it's like, that's when you start seeing things or hearing things. And it's like, as scary as it was, it's like a thrill at the same time. And it's like, oh my gosh, I want to do this again. I want to do this more. So my very first time in a haunted location wasn't till working on the show, which was the Exorcist House, the Exorcism Live show. And then the very first one on that season of Ghost Asylum was Peoria Hospital, which I think is no longer there. But that was the very first place I ever went in where I was like, wow. So this is what a haunted house is like,
Yeah, yeah. So then you guys meet at Scarefest, which is Scarefest still going? I remember that, but I didn't go to it, but I do remember hearing about Scarefest.
Yeah, they've been having it, I think, every year. I think 2020 was the only year they didn't. They did like everybody canceled. I think they did some kind of online fest. I don't know how that went.
Oh, because of COVID, right? I guess, yeah.
They're still going strong.
Oh, that's awesome. See, I don't see anything for it.
Yeah, 2019 was our last year. Not our final, but the last time we were there.
Yeah. I have to tell you, I loved Haunted Towns. I loved that. I thought that was such a cool show.
We had a lot of fun making it. We did Ghost Asylum for 3 seasons, so that was a long time in musty old hospitals, prisons, asylums, and we kind of got bored with it. To be honest with you, we're like, we want to do something a little bit different. And I think the production company and us kind of collaborated and decided, let's just do full towns. There's tons of towns all over this country that are haunted. Salem, Savannah,
Gettysburg.
Yeah, Gettysburg. And so we just decided we'd pick all our favorites and give it a shot.
Yeah. I mean, that was, I'm a huge fan of asylums and, stuff like that. So I did like the asylum, you guys going to the asylums and everything too. Cause I don't know. I hope this isn't a reflection of me, but I tend to get a lot of good, like EVPs and a lot of cool stuff happening in asylums. I don't know if I resonate with that type of, haunting, if you will, for lack of a better description. Or if it's just, I feel comfortable in those places, and when you say asylums, I mean like Pennhurst and, stuff like that, those places I love. What is your favorite type of places? Where's your favorite type of places to go to do investigating and stuff?
For myself, I mean, I don't know if during the Frozen era, a little bit ago, I heard Exchange come up.
Yeah.
Like my top are kind of a variety that we frequent, like the Titanic Museum we talked about. That's become one of my top 5. Exchange Hotel, a Civil War museum, makeshift hospital. That's become one of my favorites. Old South Pittsburgh Hospital is a favorite. Missouri State Penitentiary. I loved haunted towns. I loved working behind the scenes on Ghost Asylum. I know Chris just got done saying, wanted to change, but I wish I had that chance to do like a show like Ghost Asylum, just because I dig those places too, just those big asylums, big hospitals and prisons and stuff. I dig that. So it's like to be able to do something like that, I'm sure it gets old hat after a while if that's all you're doing, to add something. But a specific, besides saying a specific location, there's not a specific type of place I say I like more than the other.
Uh-huh. What about you, Chris?
It's like Mike said, a variety. I love going overseas. This will be our 4th trip overseas here in a couple weeks. Just being in places that old and just going up and touching the walls. We went to Kirkstall Abbey, and that place was super old, super cool. And it's a different feeling. You're almost so excited you don't even get to really investigate, because you have just a short period of time to kind of take it all in, and then before you know it, it's over, and you're like, man, I wish I would have done this or tried that. But I really love going to the Thomas House, the Titanic Museum. Like Mike said, this weekend is going to be a lot of fun. Both of them are super cool. If I had a bucket list location, though, one place I've never been able to investigate is the Bell Witch Cave, and that's only just a few miles down the road from me. But due to circumstances that we couldn't control back in the day, we were going to try to film there. Another show kind of ruined it for us. They went in and put a bad taste in everybody's mouth up there, so that didn't get to happen. Then back in the Haunted Live days, we got to investigate the cabins, which some of the wood from the original cabins was used to build those, but it just wasn't the same. So
Yeah. Brandon Johnson, I know you guys are kind of working with him. I love Brandon. I'm a huge fan of Brandon.
Oh yeah, we know
But,
Brandon.
Yeah, I love Brandon. Who would have thought that you would have gone from music to production to TV, being frozen on a Facebook video show? Dreams do come true.
Look, Mom.
It's gonna be you.
And Amber's asking, how do you guys like Rolling Hills? Have you been to Rolling Hills?
Love it.
Yeah,
I love Rolling Hills too.
I think
We
since
go every
2018,
year.
we've been going once a year. One year, I think we went twice, but yeah, no, that's coming up in September. We're going to be back there.
That place is insane. No pun intended. Like literally, I've only been there once, and it's left a mark. I caught. It sounded like little kids singing "London Bridge is Falling Down." It was the creepy, like horror movie. Like you hear it in the background, and you're just like, everybody's like, "What?" There are no little kids there, and you just "London Bridge is falling," and I'm like,
No,
"Oh my god!" I'm like, "Oh my god!"
that's
I
my
think it's
cue.
crazy because Sharon will share stuff with me and message me every now and then with. I don't post it because I don't. Hopefully, I'm not in trouble for talking about it, but stuff that her surveillance cameras catch inside and outside, and it's like, and nobody's there, so it's like even the surveillance picks up some pretty crazy stuff there. It's definitely a cool place. It's like places like that you wish they were closer, so you can do more than for us to do more than just once a year. But makes you look forward to going back, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right, let me see here. There's a lot. I'm trying to keep up with these comments, but there's a lot. So I apologize. I am like really sorry, everybody. Give me a second. This is when I need somebody to help me out. I should have, I knew this was going to be a busy show. So, you guys, Kyle Magnus, he runs White Hill Mansion. That is in Fieldsboro, New Jersey, which is also another great place. A lot of good EVPs, and he said you guys got to come to White Hill Mansion.
Yeah,
Love
we'd
to.
love to.
I think besides Cape May, which that doesn't even really count as New Jersey. I can say that because I'm from New Jersey, but Cape May doesn't count. But it's still beautiful.
It is.
The only other time we've been up there, I think, was just for the Paracon, the convention up there.
The New Jersey Power Unity. Yeah. Cape May does have a lot of there's a lot of places in Cape May that are haunted. Cape May is a very old town. And somebody agreeing with me with haunted towns.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was cool with that show. I thought it was cool because the whole town really got involved.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like you guys, and that's what I love. I love that everybody was into it. The whole town was into it. You guys got them all involved. You had, and then, I mean, how long were you guys in a location?
A week.
Oh,
yeah. What I thought was cool about it is like, I can't remember all the stories now because it's minimum 5 years, then 5 and 7 years ago. But how you can say, location A is haunted by so and so, but what about another location? Can you get activity from that same person in another location? And some of them I know we did. I can't remember which ones offhand, but so I think that's pretty cool. It's not just that this one place is haunted by so and so, and this building is haunted by so and so. It's like, they can move around, or you experience the same thing in different buildings, and some of them blocks or more than just blocks away. Some of them were like miles away from each other.
Yeah.
Like, Cape May was one. I know they were far apart from each other. The house we did, and then that like seafood restaurant thing that was still under construction. I don't know what it was before they're making it a restaurant, but that's where we got the poltergeist activity on camera, where the boards falling and stuff. That was pretty cool.
What would you guys both say? Would you think, and you might have separate answers, I don't know, but would be the most memorable? I don't know what word to use when I ask this question, but the most memorable experience you've had, something that sticks out, whether it be the scariest, whether it be the crazy, you know what I mean, or something that you never thought you'd ever experience, you did. What would you say?
Oh man, there's so many different genres of experiences. Scary, memorable. One that, like, I'll just throw one that comes to my mind, because a lot of times people ask that question a lot, and then one will just pop in my head out of nowhere. So it's usually not always the same answer. But we were investigating an old plantation in Louisiana, and earlier that day we had a ritual, like it was a blessing by a voodoo priestess, and it's where she took an egg and she did some stuff with an egg, and there was other things involved, but it was kind of an interesting experience. But later on that night, when we were investigating, Mike, Brandon, and I were investigating inside the house, and it was the craziest thing. It's like I can count on one hand how many full-bodied apparitions I've seen, and it looked like kind of the lady that gave us the blessing earlier that day. It looked like she had the kind of the head garb, and she was just kneeling on her knees on the bed when I walked in the room, and it scared the hell out of me at first. And what was crazy about that episode that I remember is, for some reason, the camera guys, and this hardly ever happens, like something was going on with the cameras. So they didn't like catch any of that investigation. We had to go back in and investigate again because their cameras just stopped working. And I remember being so bummed out because we got such good activity. I saw that, and who knows, they may have captured it. Maybe that's why the cameras went down. I don't know. But I just remember that one popped in my head as memorable. You said memorable. So
yeah, that was a scary location too. I remember we're down in a basement and we're finding like chicken bones. Like it looked, there was still brick from the building, even though it was like a crawl space, but they were just like lined up. And it was so strange. It could have just been a kid that put it there. Who knows? But it's for what we did with this priestess, of the way she was blessing us with burning stuff and rubbing an egg on us, all this kind of things that are strange to us, and then you're down in a basement and you're finding these things. It's like, it was sketch, that's for sure.
Wow.
But memorable, if I had to stay on a paranormal thing, would be full bodied apparition. Seen it twice in my life, both at the Exchange Hotel. There's 3 different buildings we investigate there. This was one in each, and both of them were during the day, where like the last one, like we always talk about these times you always remember, and it was July 29th of last year, and it was around noon. We were about to leave and meet friends for lunch, meet Brandon for lunch, and just where the bathroom is, the stairs are like maybe 5 feet behind you. And I thought Chris was running up with the phone, like filming me while I'm peeing and like just messing around. And I turned around and I just see, the only way I describe it without the bullseye is like a silhouette, like when you go to a gun range, just solid black standing right behind me. And
oh, wow,
it was freaky. It scared me. I went downstairs and I was like, oh my God, it's like the hairs on my arms were sticking up, and it's like you had to catch your breath. And it's like we've been to hundreds of places. We counted over 500 over the last few years of places we've been. And to see something like that is rare. It's never captured, but it's like, I know what I saw. It wasn't something out of the corner of my eye where it's like, I think I saw a shadow. It's like, no, this shadow was standing right behind me, like staring at me.
Right.
Either that or it's back to me, one or the other. But that's like a scary memorable. I mean, there's countless funny memorable stuff. I mean, maybe stuff we can't talk about, but but when it comes to things like that, yeah, there's a ton of those, a ton of fun memories.
Somebody says that Susan says I was there and you were seriously shaken up.
Yeah, no, that was a scary moment, and it happened twice. And the other one was a few years prior, and it was in the third floor of the main museum building. So it wasn't a person, it wasn't a car going by. It's like when you see pacing in a room, thinking it's somebody walking back and forth like 3 or 4 times, and then you go up there and there's nobody in there, and it's that same solid black, not something you see through. Didn't see a face. But I know I can still picture what I saw. So,
You know, that happened to me. I'm not a psychic medium or anything like that. I'm just an investigator. You know, I sometimes can hear voices, you know, when we're doing EVPs and stuff, or not even like sometimes I'll hear stuff and when we play it back, it's there. You know what I mean? So sometimes I can hear I'm clairaudient or whatever. But when I was on vacation, and I mean, like, I shut down everything paranormal. I was on vacation. I was in Myrtle Beach. You know, I was loving life, middle of the day drinking, you know, not too much because everybody says, well, were you drunk? No, I wasn't. I just opened up a beer. I was not drunk. And I saw something similar. I mean, like, I only saw the back part of it, but I mean, like, it reminded me of, if you saw American Horror Story, the first season, where it had the man in the black tight suit, you know, running around the house. That's exactly what it looked like, except I had like a small yellow hue around it. And I remember losing my hearing, and I didn't realize I wasn't hearing anything until I started to hear again. For like, you know what I mean? Like I literally saw it for maybe 3 seconds, but when it went into the living room and out of view, that our dog came walking out from the living room, and I didn't hear her until she was almost up to me, like the nails clicking on the floor or anything. Like I remember my hearing coming back, but I didn't even realize I wasn't hearing. You know, it was the strangest experience I've ever had. I can't explain it. I mean, nobody in my life outside of, like, nobody in my family really does any of the paranormal stuff. So like, I'm always hesitant to ever look at anybody else and be like, did you see that? Did you hear that? Like, you know, or anything, because they always bust my balls. You know, my brothers, I have 6 brothers, and they're like, every time they see me, like, ooh, spooky, you know, and I'm like, get out, you know? So, you know, I'm always hesitant to like really say anything, but that kind of took me back. I didn't have time to get scared or anything because it was so fast, but literally the most bizarre experience I've ever had. But I know what you're saying. When you see that, you know, you're like, what the, like, you're just like, whoa, like, and I know I saw it. I don't care what anybody says. I know I saw that, you know?
Isn't it crazy? It's like when you see it, it's totally different, because we'll do this every weekend. I'm sure this weekend we'll get some activity. We always do a Titanic. You can get countless EVPs and you go, ho, 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 did you hear that? Man, that's a good one. Wow, that's clear. And it's like, if you picture it that way, that voice is coming from something. But when you see that something, then it's like, that's scary. I got to go. I'd rather hear your voice than see you.
That's
you know,
so
it's like when you see them, it's like that. Then it's scary. It kind of sends you out running. And I don't know if you guys went into this during the frozen times, but talking about exchange, were you talking about that we sleep there?
No, we were, I think we started to talk about the Exchange Hotel, but then, you know.
Yeah, just in the same spot where I saw that. It's like the bathroom's in the middle. He sleeps in a room on this side of it. I sleep in a room on the other side of it. And the room I sleep in, either I'm dead to the world when I'm sleeping, but he's the one who's sleeping with headphones in, because you can talk about that. We were just there last weekend, and he wakes up in the morning because I got maybe an hour's sleep. Screw this place. I wish we can get a hotel. It's like, this room is so damn haunted. We're switching next time we come back here.
Oh, we're switching for sure. Like, I've slept in that room for the last like 30 times, so it's your turn. This is like an old, super old summer kitchen. It's basically the kitchen that the servants would use to prepare meals for the main house. And upstairs is the 2 bedrooms. And there's Olivia, who was supposedly a girl of the night, a lady of the night. And then the other room that Mike sleeps in was the generals. But the room that I sleep in is not insulated. It's just wood floors. You can see right down into the kitchen. The one that Mike's in, they renovated underneath that. So he's got like real seat, like, the floor, his floor is like insulated. It's all boxed in. So you can't hear all the stuff that I hear like all night. And it's just constant.
Wow.
And I finally, after the 30th time sleeping there, I found a nightlight in the wall, and I was like, oh, this is like the perfect amount of light, because I'm used to like turning a lamp on and putting a shirt over it and trying to like go to sleep. And I got one eye open, I got my headphones in, I got Andy Griffith on my phone playing, some some really good quality TV, makes you feel good TV, just so I'm not thinking about all the noises that I'm hearing. I've had things run up the stairs, I've had the door handle jiggle, I've had things trying to get in the room. It's just like, man, Holiday Inn. Let's go. Holiday Inn.
It's crazy, right? Because we're investigators, but I know how you feel, because that's how I was when I was, younger. Like, or if we go anywhere, like I'll bring earplugs, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, once I go to sleep, everybody else will fall asleep before me. And I don't want to be the only one up.
Same.
And getting haunted. You know what I mean? I'm like, I want to make sure that I am like not.
Oh, this one falls asleep immediately, and like, he's asleep, and then I'm just sitting there listening to everything.
Right. It's like, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to.
Well, some people ask, like, well, did you do this? We've set up cameras there before, downstairs, facing up the stairway. Check it the next morning, nothing. If we go out to lunch, we'll do it the opposite way and check it, nothing. And it's like, never captured anything on that, even though we've set up cameras like that and done it. But I don't know. It's like, it's scary, because people ask us too, well, you should have done this, you should have done that. And it's like you said before, when it's sleep time, paranormal gets shut down. Some people don't shut it down. They're 24/7 paranormal. It's everything's a ghost. Everything's this. They can go into the 7-Eleven to fill up, and they'll bring their K2 meter with them, and it's like, you got to shut it down. And it's like, sleep time is shut it down. But if something's scratching on the wall while you're trying to sleep, you know,
no. Yeah.
That's why we're not switching rooms.
Oh, we're switching.
Chris.
What's happening?
So I know this is like a redundant question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What are your guys' go-to equipment? Like, what is something that you always use during an investigation, no matter what?
I know we kind of have the same answer for this, but we always tell people, like, when we do events, you can't go into an event without an arsenal of equipment, because especially newcomers, they really want to see all the gadgets and things that react, and they want to pick their own, because if it's their first time and they're really going to start getting into it, they want to see these things in action and working. But for us, if it's just us in a location by ourselves and we got the whole building, then we don't even bring anything. We just bring a flashlight. Like, we don't bring any type of tech. We just like to go in, and we don't a lot of times even speak. We just kind of listen and go from room to room. And, you bring a flashlight so you don't fall down on your face, but, kind of get a feel for the place. Let them get used to you. A lot of times they'll be more curious with that than, just the barrage of questions. What's your name? Why are you here? How did you die? I know if I were inhabiting a building and some strangers came in with a bunch of gadgets that lit up and was just forcing all these questions on me, I wouldn't want to talk to them. So, not to say that those aren't good in certain circumstances.
Right.
We always tell people, your body is the best piece of equipment, what God gave you, what you see, what you hear, feel, sometimes smell. But I think if it were just one piece of tech that we had to bring in, I would say it would be just a regular digital recorder.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the same. Like, capturing a picture of anything is, I think I have one picture in the 20 years I've been doing. And I used to take thousands of pictures, and you know what I mean? Like, you get one picture. So I've really avoided the camera. It takes away your focus too. But I'm with you guys, like with the going in and not talking. I mean, there's two things I love: silence, or I noticed that like when me and the girls, because I'm with Paranormal Peaches, so like there's 7 of us, right? And we are loud. We can be loud. We can be talkative and catty and laughing and all kinds of stuff. And I know, like sometimes we can't help it, but we'll get caught up. We start busting each other's balls in the middle of an investigation. We're laughing and stuff. But we notice like we get a lot of interaction when that's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same. Like we always tell people in the Q&As, you know, don't be afraid to have fun. You know, they're attracted to fun. It's energy, you know, whatever you put off, I feel like you get back. You know, sometimes people put out anger or, you know, sadness and they get that back. But I think if you put out good, positive vibes, they're drawn to that and they feed off of that type of energy. So yeah, we do the same thing. We give each other hell, crack jokes. You can ask anybody that comes to the events. If you come to a Wraith Chaser event, even if it's not active, you're still gonna have a good time because we're gonna cut up and laugh and make sure that not only the people but the spirits there have a good old time.
Yeah, I mean you have to, right?
Like you just said, we get a lot of, if it's not a public ghost hunt, it's like either quiet or just talking to each other. And it's like, and if you set a recorder down and we're just like, man, it was cold today. I know, man, that was a good drink we had. And you're just doing regular random talk. You'll get interaction in between that without the direct, you know, job interview questions. How did you do this? Why'd you do that? Why? And it's like, some people go, they heard that question a million times. I personally don't believe like you fished out a pond. I don't think you fish out a location. Like they already answered their quota of, you know, questions. They're not going to answer that. I don't think it's that. I just think it's not appealing. I don't think you're putting emotion in, if this makes sense. I don't think as an individual, you're putting any kind of emotion, feeling, or energy out when you're just basically reading, why are you here? General, are you in this room? You're not putting anything out. So it's like, I don't think if you're not putting it out, you're not going to get it back. So it's like when you're just being true and you're just being natural, that's when you're more than likely to get it back. Just my thought on it. I mean, even everybody's first experience that got them into the field, probably not, you're not investigating. It just happened when you're at home. It happened when you were sleeping or at your grandma's house or Chris and his grandfather's barn. You weren't investigating. You were just being natural, giving out natural energy and vibes. You're not, you know, with your random or your list of questions that you had written out.
Right. No, you're right. I mean, I started to like think like even like on the EVP side of things, you know, I record the entire time. Like the entire time. I tell everybody, like, I'm recording. It's going to stay recording, you know, because I like to have everything. Whereas then we'll take other recorders and do burst EVP sessions for like 2 minutes. We ask questions, whatever. We listen back. But we always seem to, recently, we've been getting interaction or answers with the recorders playing, like, and hearing it over again. So I'm like, wow, I wonder if they can hear better with the recorder the same way we can hear better with the recorder, you know, like hearing the questions and the answers, you know, because up until, so like it happened a couple of times where we got answers with the questions being played through the recorder and we got the answer on my recorder because it's recording us, you know, but we were at a location in October and we were doing that. We were listening back to our session and we heard this, like, we heard a woman say yes. And it sounded so we were like, we got all excited. I'm like, oh my God, rewind it. We rewound it, but it wasn't there. So they're like, Taryn, rewind your recorder. Right. Because so I had to stop it, which I hate this, but I had to stop it and I rewound it and it was on my recorder. So we actually heard a disembodied voice answering the question from the recorder. And it was cool. Yeah, that's the first time it happened. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it was always on the recorder. So more and more I'm thinking, I'm like, wow, maybe they can hear better with the record, you know, listening to who knows, right? But it's going to not be something that I ever stop doing.
I think some of the best methods are found by accident.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I agree.
Well, it's like something that might work 100% in one location, 1, 2, and 3 is not in 4, 5, and 6. It's like we always say, there's no one way to investigate. There's no right and wrong. there's things you like to do, and there might be those same things that I don't like to do, and vice versa. But nobody's right and wrong. You know, like there's some people have the how-to ghost hunt book, and it's like, to me, if I had a book on how to investigate, it should just open it up and say, be respectful and be careful. You know, it's like, that's what you can really do, because it's like there's no right or wrong answers. We have our way of doing it, and it's not saying that's the correct way, but that's just our comfort zone in it, the way we do it.
Yeah. Have you guys ever, let me see some of these questions here, because I did star some things, and I don't want to get ahead of it, like I said, but so aside from the paranormal, because y'all show is off the hook, love it. Sam's pretty paranormal. Have you ever experienced anything like cryptid or alien or Bigfoot?
I want to. I'm open to it.
Yeah, me too.
I would love to, you know. Not really. Not that I don't think so. I mean, there are theories out there that a lot of things we experience in this field is extraterrestrial or interdimensional or something. I mean, we have no idea still what we're talking to or who we're talking to. But I'm open to it. I haven't yet, but I'd like to.
Yeah. I mean, there's times in the past, I think I saw something in the sky that I can't explain, like that looks like an airplane, but it darted off the other way. But like actually contact these stuff, no, and I don't want to. You know, I would love to see something from far, but I mean, like if, you know, something on the ground, no. Or like if you're camping and you saw a Bigfoot kind of creature, I'd probably pass out. It's like, you know, listen, I feel like I can outrun a ghost. I can't.
Hey, we went on a cryptid hunt one time, me, Mike, and Brandon, and we actually ended up getting scared of, we were way out in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the woods in BFE, Tennessee. And it was Tennessee, right?
I can't remember if it was Tennessee or Kentucky. One of them, yeah. But it was out of the
But way up in the mountains, out in the woods. We had to walk this big trail with our equipment. We had a campfire going, and we were filming. We were in search for this creature called the White Screamer. The White Screamer. And it was kind of like a cryptid type thing. And there were tons of people that we had talked to that day about it. So we're already kind of psyched and pumped up about it. We had been hearing screams. We were doing the whole Bigfoot call thing. We were getting them back. And then we're all sitting there investigating, and all of a sudden you start hearing these four-wheelers. And the thing that we're thinking is, oh my God, like they know we're here, and this is a bunch of like deliverance people coming to kill us or have their way with us. So the scariest part about that was just being like, okay, we're out in the middle of nowhere. We got like one gun and these people are out here. They're going to come out here and kill us on four-wheelers.
Well, it's crazy because like we came up one way, directly over the other side was a big cliff, a big ravine. So it's like there was no going over that. And like you said, we had a campfire and we started hearing the like four-wheelers, and there's three of us, and there's how dumb we are in the moment. It's like we just run and hide behind trees and logs, and I'm like, then afterwards you're like, they're gonna know where we are because there's our stuff in a campfire. There's no place to go. The car is like 2 miles down the way in the woods. But yeah, that was, there you go. There's another memorable, scary moment.
Well, what I was going to say was, one, you don't know what you and we saw that black thing. We don't know what realm that's at or where it's from, right? So that could very well been some sort of, some sort of weird alienish type thing, or, you know what I mean? You never know what that is.
That's a theory.
But also, I'm with you guys. I am like, scared to death of, I call them wrong turn people. You guys say different, but wrong turn. I watched 30 seconds of that movie, and no, I'm like, I would kill myself before if I saw something like that in the woods.
It's like some people don't believe in the afterlife of that. They don't believe in ghosts. They don't believe in aliens. They don't believe in that. And that's fine, because we don't even know if it's really real or what it is or not. But people like that are real.
Yes, so
that
true.
is 100% a real thing. So it's like, that's what's scary.
The only woods that I am not afraid of, honestly, is Gettysburg. Like, I could go anywhere in Gettysburg and walk around, and I'm totally fine and comfortable. I don't know why that is, but any other woods, I am like, okay, I need night vision, I need thermal, I need to be able to see what's coming, what's going. You know what I mean? Like, because wrong turn people. That's the only thing that pops in my head every time I'm in the woods. I'm like, I can't do it.
Every state has them.
I can't do it. I freak out. When we were at Hinsdale, the Peaches, we were all at Hinsdale and we were outside. The last thing I thought I was ever going to see was I don't even know what it was. It was something like, I remember, and I ran. I pulled a dude run, and I did not care because I thought it was a bear coming at us. I was like, I'm like, it is walking towards us. It was like this huge animal. All I could see were the eyes. It's going like this. I'm like, that shit's getting closer. And I literally jumped up. Equipment went everywhere. And I ran over my two friends, two of the girls that were outside with me. I was like, I ran in that house so fast. You still don't know what it was. Stop it. Well, she's making fun of me. She ran. Yes, I did run. I was like, because I thought it was a bear. I was not sticking out there for nothing.
That's where the all for one goes out the window. It's
For
like,
sure. Just if I run, just follow. Just follow me. Right. We'll talk later. They're like, what
I
are
was
you
showing
doing?
you the way out. I was showing you the way to safety.
So true. So here's another question. If a spirit, I hope I'm saying this right, Abby, if a spirit asks for help while you are investigating, did you try to help them cross over or leave before you vacate the property?
Oh,
we get this a lot.
Help cross over. I believe personally, I don't think a human can do that. I don't think that's our responsibility or our gift to do that. And if I'm wrong and people are, we're not. We don't have that gift to cross somebody over. No. What was the other?
I'm with you.
I'm not psychic or even sensitive in the slightest. Like I don't see them. I don't hear them unless it's with a digital recorder. Every now and then a disembodied voice or knocking on walls. But yeah, I have no idea to even where to begin to cross someone over. Like Mike said, I think that's up to the big man upstairs and not myself.
For sure. I agree. This is a good question. I just want to throw it because I want you guys to talk about it. Mike and Chris, when is your new show, Ghost Bob, coming out?
This spring. There's no exact date, but this spring. We filmed 3 episodes. We're filming next weekend. We're filming another episode. So hopefully they should start rolling out soon. But Amazon Prime this spring. So very short window. It's coming up soon.
That's awesome. What is the show? What is it about? Like what's going on in the show? Are you guys just investigating or?
Well, the catch line or phrase, I guess, of the show is 10 people, 10 walks of life, 1 haunted location. So it's like over the last 5 years, we've done over 500 public investigations. So we just started thinking more and more it's about the people. It's not so much about us and about the equipment. The people make that happen. So that was just kind of our theory. So we kind of took a survivor approach, but it's not a contest. So we're taking 10 people, 10 different walks of life. We've had from 15 years old to almost 70, black, white, gay, straight, men, women, husband and wives, husband and father and daughter. It's like sisters, just taking 10 different people with 10 walks of life in a haunted location, and they investigate. We're on the show, but it's not a show about us. It's about these people. They're the stars of the show and how they investigate and their backgrounds, what brought them into this field, what brought them together, if they're husband and wife or something like that. But
right.
Their connections with maybe the location, with each other, with the paranormal itself. And it's like get to know the people and then they investigate.
That sounds cool. Different concept, different type of a show. That sounds really interesting to watch, because I do notice like on certain shows and certain people I work with, sometimes you vibe differently. And when you vibe differently with somebody, you tend to get different types of activity. Sometimes you don't get anything at all. Sometimes you get like the best evidence you can get, you know what I mean? So I do think it has a lot to do with dynamic, and, how you vibe with somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
Another cool thing about this one is, this one is kind of a labor of love for us. We're pretty much backing this. We're shooting it. We got a really good production crew that's filming it for us, and then we're putting it together. And it's, I think a lot of, and I'm not I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this, but a lot of the things going on today in television when it comes to the paranormal is like kind of scare tactics and, jump scare type stuff. And, in real life paranormal investigation, that's not how it goes. Sometimes you might not even get anything. And sometimes it's very chill, and sometimes it's happy, it's uplifting. Sometimes it is scary. And I think that's what's cool about this is you're going to see every bit of that. It's not just going to be the holy shit moments where people run away screaming and crying. And, it's some of it is, it's just like this. It's like a regular paranormal investigation, but either way, it's entertaining because we get to pick the people and they're all awesome. So, or otherwise we wouldn't have picked them.
Well, I find the as close as you can get. Like I get it. I know there's got to be entertainment in there and stuff like that for people to watch for some reason. For me, I would literally watch a real ghost hunt, like a real investigation, how it goes. To me, those are better. I mean, the whole time I'm watching it, and if it's quiet, like you think about all the places that have the streaming webcams that you can watch, there's nothing going on. It's like the cameras are in empty places, and you're just watching to see if something happens. I get so sucked into those things for some reason. Like I'm just waiting for something to happen, and I'll be like 2 hours later. I'm like, what the? I'm like, crap! I got to clean my house. I got to do all this shit. And I'm like, got so sucked into this, and nothing is happening. But
like, baby, what you watching? In the empty room.
Yeah, empty room.
In IR.
Right. Oh, here we go. Taylor ham or pork roll? It is not Taylor ham. It is pork roll. Thank you very much.
Jersey. Now, this is an interesting thing. Mike's from Jersey, but the first time I ever went to the New Jersey Paracon, everybody was talking about this. Like, we got to take you out for a pork roll. We got to take you out for a pork roll. And then I get there, and they give me the infamous pork roll. I'm excited. I'm like, this is a ham sandwich, isn't it? It's like, what is this? It's like this. We got this at home.
So it's Taylor ham is the brand, but it's pork roll. You know what I mean? Like, it's Taylor ham. I mean, it's pork roll. Oh my God, I'm gonna get my balls busted for that one. But it's pork roll. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with like Jimmy's or Sprinkles. I'm like, it's Jimmy's. It's not Sprinkles. That's another one that everybody fights about. This is a good one. I was going to ask you, have you guys ever heard of the Octagon Mansion in Wytheville, Virginia?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been there a handful of times.
Yeah, such a great place.
Oh, it's really small. Is that John on there now? Right?
Yes, that's John. Yes.
Oh, what's up, John? Yeah.
I love
it's a
John.
great location.
It really is.
Yeah, we've been there 4 or 5 times now.
I've only been there once, and me and John investigated only. It was just me and John all night, and we had some I was live the whole entire time. I couldn't. It was just live on YouTube, and Facebook, but I couldn't. Like the stuff that was happening has never happened to me before. So I was like, I didn't go off. I was literally live for like 4 hours straight, because it was just an amazing location. I couldn't believe all the stuff that was happening. You go somewhere and you're like, okay, it's probably going to be cool. But when you don't expect that and it happens, it makes it so much better.
Yeah, no, John has collected so many things. Like I've never seen quite the extensive collection like John's put together.
Yeah.
It's just some of the stuff he's collected since he was a kid, and just to walk through it, even if you're not into the paranormal, you're just into history and you want to see some cool stuff from the Civil War, even the Revolutionary War. Go check out Octagon Mansion at 585 for sure.
I mean, I think a lot of the places that we go to, the history, even if you don't have something happen, being in a place with so much history and being in a place like that, you know what I mean? Like it could be Civil War, it could be Revolutionary War, or UK, or where, Italy, wherever, just being in a place that is so old and has so much history, to me is worth all of it. You know what I mean? Like it just, that to me, nothing could happen. And I still would feel awesome that I was able to be in a place like that,
It's like Chris said earlier with the Abbey in UK we did. It's like going to Octagon, especially the first time going. It was hard to investigate because you're just looking at everything, and it's like you're just reading everything, looking at uniforms, everything from buttons. His collection, you just get soaked in on looking at all the stuff he has, all the artifacts. So it's like made it difficult the first time because I want to look at everything and take pictures of everything.
I know but and that's the other thing. Like Gettysburg, that's my number one place in the world. And even going there, I mean, I can't imagine. Every time I go there, I have something happen, whether I'm ghost hunting or not. Because I go there for so many different things, but I always have something happen. Do you guys find that places that you like the Exchange Hotel? Obviously, you guys are and I don't want to say attached, and it's not a bad thing, but I mean, like, attached to that place. You have a little bit of a heart for there. Do you find that you get more activity in places where you are drawn to as opposed to places you're not?
I think it's hit and miss, honestly.
Yeah.
I think every place, no place is really created equal. But it's like you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes, I mean, Mike and I have been to, he's been once, I've been twice to Waverly Hills. And I still haven't had anything really big happen to Waverly Hills. But I know a lot of other people that have. That just means I haven't really had the opportunity to go there very often. But then we've been to Bobby Mackey's, no telling how many times we've been out there. I would say probably at least 20 times. And, sometimes it's super active. Sometimes it's quieter. It just depends, I think, on, who knows, the atmosphere, what you got going on, the lunar phase, whatever it is. But, I think it's different every time. And it's like that individually. Sometimes people can be in the same investigation. And this guy over here is having a great time. He's having all kinds of experiences. And this person's sitting right next to him is not having anything. So
Right. But do you find that, like, a lot of people, they have to be open to it as well?
Sure.
Yeah, they have to be open to it. They can't just,
no, it's funny because some people, and I get it. Like, some people are dragged to paranormal investigations. I can't tell you how many people, like, the wife is interested in trying it out and the husband is dragged there. And you can tell, you can see the look painted all over their face in the crowd. It's like, oh, I don't want to be here. But sometimes if they will just open up a little bit during the investigation, by the end of it, they're the ones, they've got us in the corner telling us about all the things that they had happen. So it can really flip. But yeah, you absolutely have to be open to it for sure.
Yeah. I think that right place, right time. I think sometimes we can help, individuals can help create that time be right, with your presence, your vibe, your energy, whatever you want to call it. We can help that right place and right time. And because sometimes you can go like, I'm not feeling in this room. Like, you got to give it more time. And it's like, what, dude? We get the knock every 60 seconds. It's like there's no time on it. So it's like right place, right time. Sometimes you feel it. It's like we can say you're not psychic, but you kind of get that gut feeling like this room's beat. Let's go somewhere else. Or I don't know. Nothing happened yet, but I like the feel of this place.
Yeah. So
then you want to give it a little longer. It's not like a time thing on it. Like give it another 60 minutes and see what happens. It's like
yeah. I mean, and people are, I mean, like, that's the day and age now, right? Everybody wants instant gratification. Everybody wants that instant, and a lot of the enthusiasts that come out, to do this stuff, they see what they know what they see on TV, and on TV it's boom, 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 boom. Like, all this, they don't realize there's editing and cutting out, and you've been there for days or a week or this and that. They see boom, boom, boom. It happens a lot, all the time. Like, how come the stuff isn't going off, and how come this isn't being? And I'm like, well, I mean, because nothing's happening right now. It's not gonna go off.
That's the problem. Sometimes people watch these shows and it's not like that in real life. When you get to an investigation, I remember one couple, we were at the Nickerson Sneed house one time doing a group hunt. We had a really good night. It was a little slower than usual, but they had never been to an investigation before. And I think they were expecting levitating chairs and spinning heads and just all kinds of stuff, because we got a complaint by the promoter. He's like, yeah, I don't know what their problem was. Everybody else had a great time. I was like, I know exactly who they are. And they were just expecting, things to set on fire and just all kinds of stuff. And I, because I had talked to them a little bit about it, and we were investigating, and I could just see in the look on their faces, like they were expecting something way bigger. And it's a lot of times the subtlest things that excite us the most,
Yeah. Oh yeah. It could be the smallest thing. And and I get it. And but you know, unfortunately, what they see on TV is what they think. You know what I mean? Like that's what it has to be. You have to have something this great thing happen. But I mean, it's just like we were at a location last weekend, and so far we've gotten one EVP, but that one EVP, like I'm like so grateful for. You know, like we got something. You know, we did. You know, it's just it's not going to be like what you see on TV, you know, and that's a lot of times people don't understand that. I know I know I've had you for an hour already. If you guys just have a couple more minutes,
Sure.
I am obsessed with the Titanic. So I want to know, you guys have been there a couple of times. Like, what kind of stuff has come out of the Titanic Museum?
Oh wow! I mean, we've been to both locations, Pigeon Forge and Branson. Branson, I think, a few times more. I think this is our third time at the Pigeon Forge, but they both have original artifacts. They get swapped around, so if you hit one, hit the other. You might have some stuff that lived there, but stuff that goes back and forth. So again, $1 million question is: can spirits attach to objects? Places like this, we believe so. That's our opinion. It's like, yes, it's like we've had great EVPs, stuff that's posted on our YouTube stuff. We posted some EVPs, disembodied scream, disembodied of a little girl talking. I think the best EVP we got was from the Pigeon Forge location, and we were asking, where did you set sail from? Why were you coming to America? Were you coming for work? Are you coming to visit your family and all that kind of stuff? And then it's like, when we hit, where did you set sail from? When we played it back, we got an EVP that said Southampton. And it was just like,
it had an English accent. It had an English accent.
Really? That's awesome.
That was, I think, the best out of it. I mean, we got the one while Chad from Ghost Hunt Weekends was actually doing I don't know if he was filming live or just filming, but he had his light and he was filming the event, and his camera caught it, and it was in Chris's location. I think something came through, something smaller came through because everybody referenced that, and then you hear like a girl screaming.
Oh wow.
Then they showed us surveillance stuff too when they're not investigating, and stuff you would almost see in a movie where it's like the gift shop, like when there's books on a shelf, you'll see books.
Oh wow.
Like, you know, you'll see that in a movie, like in a library, like the books come off the shelf. That during Christmas time, a Christmas tree got blown over. I mean, you don't go into like a haunted house thing spinning, but it's active. And unless these two touristy towns have some voodoo grounds or something, it's like, I believe it's the artifacts in there.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I went to, they had a traveling museum. You know, I didn't realize it was not really, they had a sister ship. What the heck was the name of it? But it was built exactly the same as the Titanic.
The Olympic or something like that.
Yes, Olympia or Olympia. Yeah. So most of the stuff that was in there was from that. You know, they would show you the pictures of the Titanic, and then they would have like, it was still cool. It was still cool to see, right? But I got kind of a little disappointed because I thought, you know, it was like, here's the Titanic Museum, you know, this and that. So I literally want to go to that one in Pigeon Forge. I've been watching it. I've been following them on Facebook and everything, as I have a little bit of an obsession with the Titanic. So I definitely, and your guys' the Titanic videos, they're like on social media, right? Or they're on your pages.
Yeah, they're on our YouTube.
Yeah, I want to see those.
Talking about that, I think it's on Prime or Netflix, one of them. But there was a cool Titanic documentary, and it was like talking about the sister ships. One had problems, this and that. That it was actually that Olympic or Olympia, whatever it was called. That's the one that sank.
Right, I heard that too.
Yeah, and it's like because they said they're pretty much exactly the same. But even on the back where it says Titanic on the back of the ship, now that it's down there, I guess the letters are falling off or something, but you can kind of see the OLY or something, whatever it was, you can see those letters on it. And it's like, no shit. So it's like the last minute they swapped it out and sent that one out. Doesn't matter. The ship still went down. And died, you know, but it's not going to be all on the name. But it's still one of these things that's like, You know, did the man really land on the moon? One of those things.
Right. Oh gosh. I mean, I it's crazy because when I watch that stuff, I'm like, it's so sad to me that you can't bring it up. That it's got to just sit under the ocean and it's got to just rot, because eventually one day it's not going to be there anymore,
Right.
And I was literally like trying to come up with this concoction. I'm like, what happens if they put like a thing around it and they suck all the water out of that? You know what I mean? And they, so then it's not in water anymore.
I'm trying to help them out here, right?
I know. I was like trying to come up with all kinds of ideas. I'm like, this is unfair. Why can't they bring it up?
Yeah, it's a sad ghost hunt. I mean, everywhere we investigate, we're talking to people who are no longer alive, so they're all sad, but we don't know everything about Missouri State Pen except for what we learned when we went in there. We don't know everything about these Civil War things except for the basics, but it's like everybody knows the Titanic story, so you kind of hits a little closer, I think.
Yeah. Before I let you guys go, because I've had you for an hour and 10 minutes. Not that I have to go, but I hate keeping people longer than what I tell them I'm going to have them for. What have you guys got coming up? And where can people find you? Where can they look forward to finding your stuff? All that good stuff.
Well, we, every weekend that's not a holiday, we're doing something somewhere, a paranormal event, whether it's a convention. Most of them are public ghost hunts. So if you go to our website, wraithchasers.com, hit that little event tab, and I'm sure we're coming somewhere close to you. So if anybody wants to join us, we have a great time. We love having fun at ghost hunts. We love hearing from new people and their different methods. And, we don't discriminate. Whatever your method is, bring it. Whatever piece of equipment. If you don't want to bring equipment, we just ask that you keep an open mind and participate. And we love doing it. Like I said, we did over 70 events last year, and I think we got over 70 in the cards for this year.
That's awesome. Are you guys coming anywhere near Jersey anytime soon? Except for the New Jersey Para-Unity? Are you coming to that this year? You're not?
No, yeah, we are.
Oh, okay. I thought you were shaking.
I was answering your first question first. I don't think we're coming anywhere. I think that's the only one this year, isn't it, Mike?
That's the only one in Jersey. We'll be in Pennsylvania. We don't have the location yet, but in September we'll be in Pennsylvania.
Okay. Yeah. PA's, I do most of my stuff in PA anyway. So, it's like right there. So I'll be looking at
just walk left.
Yeah. Literally. That would be awesome. I do want to, I've never, I would like the opportunity to come out and, and see you guys and hang out and do an investigation or something like that. That would be really
cool.
New
York. May, we're going to be at the Shanley.
Oh.
New York, and okay. And then September, Rolling Hills. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, the Shanley is 6.5 hours from me, which, I've been there. So it's not like it's, I'm literally 5 minutes from Philly on the Jersey side. So I'm like, right, Fort Mifflin is 20 minutes for me. Yeah. So, but I'll still make the drive. So I'll be watching where you guys are at, so I'm not just saying hi really quick at the events and giving you guys a hug. Cause I'm always working them. So I never get to stand and talk around and say hi to anybody.
Well, if anybody wants to do the Shanley, it's 2 nights and we sleep there. So you get 48 hours of dealing with us.
I'm sure some people would love that.
It's a cool place. We've been there once, but I can't wait to get back.
Yeah. When we went there, I didn't really have anything happen except for I was laying in one of the beds downstairs, and I had 5 cats. I only have 3 now, but so I'm a cat, love cats. And it felt like a cat had got up on the bed and was like kneading on the bottom of the bed, like near my feet. And I'm sitting there for a second, like, am I really feeling this? Is this really happening right now? Because it really feels like a cat kneading. And I had no idea that there is a claims of a cat doing that there. I had no idea.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, I told her the next day, it did feel like there was like a cat kneading. And she goes, that is one of the claims that people say.
No way.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Validation.
Absolutely. Okay. I am going to let you guys go. I did have another question, but I'm not gonna keep you any longer. But I want to thank you both so much for coming on, and I look forward to seeing all your stuff coming out. The Ghost Mob, that sounds awesome. And hopefully I get to meet you guys out somewhere, and maybe come close enough, and I can come join one of your ghost investigations. Would be cool.
Absolutely. Anyone, just let us know which one.
Absolutely.
Please do.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you guys. You guys are great.
Thank you so much for having us. It's been our pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope you guys had fun, and I hope you guys come on. We'll bring you on again.
All right.
Sure.
Thanks.
Thank you
Good
so
night,
much.
guys.
Good
Bye-bye.
night. Well, they were great. I want to say thank you to everybody that was here. I really apologize if I didn't get to everybody's questions and comments. I really tried. I think I need to, see if somebody can help me out with when I have guests like this on, because it's really, really hard to keep up. So I apologize if I didn't get to everybody. But everybody was great. I loved all the comments. And I love all of you. To all my peaches that were in, thank you so much. I love you guys. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you. Everybody's saying I did good. Thank you. And they were phenomenal. So I definitely will try to have them on again at some point. They're great. They're awesome guys. I love them. So just, I can't say thank you enough. With that being said, I'm going to go, and I hope you guys join me again. Thank you so much.